This was Idaho's population in 1980. This is Idaho's population today. And this is what most people in Idaho think will happen to Idaho's population in 5 years. Hey, what's up? It's Ben here with Triple Chord Real Estate. How many people actually live in Idaho? What's the population of the Treasure Valley? What are the demographics like? And what's the population forecast for the next 20 years here in the Boise Metro Area? I did some research on what they're predicting, and what I found was quite surprising. I'll share those numbers with you at the end, but first, if this is your first time here, on this channel I talk about the Boise housing market and all kinds of other things related to living in Boise. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. As of December 2020, there are about 1,826,000 people that live in the state. Now when you compare Idaho with its neighboring states, you can see that there's only 2 other states that have a smaller population than Idaho. Wyoming has about 500,000 people and Montana has about 1 million. Overall, there's only 11 other states in the US that have a smaller population than the Gem State. But Idaho is the 14th largest state. So when you take that into consideration, along with the fact that 61% of all of Idaho is public land, you can begin to see why a lot of Idaho is actually open country. Now, one disadvantage to that is that because there's only about 39% of the state that can be used for housing and development, a lot of the population is concentrated into small clusters, so the population density can be a little bit higher in certain parts of Idaho than in the rest of the parts of Idaho. In the Treasure Valley, we have about 787,000 people that live here. 4 of the 5 most populous states in Idaho are here in the Boise Metro Area. And the largest, obviously, is Boise. There's about 240,000 people that live in Boise. Second largest is Meridian. It's got about 120,000 residents. Nampa is number 3 with a population of 106,000. And Caldwell comes in number 5 in the state, and it has 61,000 people. Here's a graphic that compares the Boise metro area to the surrounding big cities. And like you can see in the graphic, the Boise metro area is pretty small, relatively speaking. Seattle, for example, has 3.7 million, Portland 2.4 million, Phoenix at 4.8 million. So I like to describe the Boise metro area as a small, big city. How do our cities rank compared to the rest of the United States? Well, in 2018, Forbes magazine named Boise as the fastest growing city in the United States. According to what I could find, it seems that Boise has slipped down from the number 1 slot, but Meridian is ranked number 3. It's the 3rd fastest growing city in the United States. And Nampa is number 5. How much have we grown over the past several years? The population's exploded, right? Well, yes and no. According to the data that I found, we've grown by a rate of about 38,000 people every year for the past several years. And depending on how you figure the numbers, that's a rate of increase of about 2% or 4% depending on how you calculate the numbers. Where did everybody come from? You guessed it, California. That is true. According to a recent survey from about a year ago, 26% of the people that moved to Idaho say they moved from California, but they didn't come in droves. About 17,000 Californians moved into Idaho in 2019. Relatively speaking, that's a pretty small number of Californians that chose Idaho as their destination. In that same year, 650,000 people poured out of California, and only 17,000 came to Idaho. The state that took in the largest number of Californians was Texas. They took in 82,000 Californians in 2019. The state that received the 2nd largest number of Californians was Arizona. And do you know how Idaho ranked as far as the number of Californians they took in 2019? Number 11. One of the areas that I think Idaho can improve upon is in diversity. Idaho is only one of 10 states in America that has a white population of over 90%. According to what I could find, about 0.68% of Idahoans are black or African American. 1.35% are Native Americans, and 1.41% of the population is Asian. One of the ways that Idaho makes up for that is by their refugee resettlement program. The state is one of several states in the country that has a pretty in-depth resettlement program here. And since 1975, Idaho has been taking in refugees from countries like the Soviet Union, who've been persecuted for their Christian faith. In the 90s, we took in about 5,000 people from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And since the 2000s, we've been getting quite a large number of refugees from Africa. Last year, for example, 2019, we took in about 550 refugees. 67% of those were from Congo. The refugee program here in Idaho is pretty interesting, so if you'd like to learn more about that, I'll put a link down in the description below and you can check it out on your own. But what about the future? What is the outlook for the Boise Metro Area? The main organization that deals with population planning, organizing, and forecasting is the Community Planning Association of Southwest Idaho. Well, I looked at their numbers and their forecast for the next 20 years, and what I found was actually kind of surprising. According to their data, there were 432,345 people that lived in the Treasure Valley in the year 2000. Today, there's 737,000 people. So that's an increase of about 300,000 people over the past 20 years. According to their projections, the Treasure Valley is set to increase to about 1 million by the year 2040. Well, that rate of increase is exactly what we've seen over the past 20 years. So are we seeing a population explosion? I don't know, but what about you? You think Idaho's population is increasing too rapidly? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you want to watch another video on what life is like here in Idaho, check out this video right here.